So, welcome back. I was sitting there, posting these new videos. I was kind of going through my other videos, and I wanted to do an update. It's been a while. Um, I wanted to make an update on some of the T1 defense and debuffs and subs like that. I kind of try to make it as quick as I can, but let's run over this a little bit because things have changed. This game has changed a lot. So now we are talking. Back when I made that video, we didn't have K45. We didn't have 3,500 buffs. We didn't have 45 million rallies. Man, we were. It was ridiculous. I'll show you. This was in Clash right here, man. I took this. I was in Clash for all of 5. You can see it right there. 7 minutes I was in. They start after 5 minutes. It starts, or 3 minutes, or whatever. And look at this, man. Only a 28 million rally. 28 million troops joined with a 39,000, almost 4,000 range attack coming off this guy. And that's crazy. Zeroed me right away. I mean, of course, I wasn't ready. I had nothing ghosted. I might have had a march out, but man, it's changed. This game's changed a lot. So let's talk about the how we can try best to adjust for this. So we'll go ahead and talk about the smaller keeps first. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to, with these smaller keeps, and I'll go to my sub generals first. So you want to have your sub generals like this. You want to have all Aki gear, and you want to upgrade it to the Parthian if you can. Try not to mix Parthian and Aki because you'll be missing out on the set bonuses. And what I mean by that is these three right here down in green. Let's get this so I can circle and show you. If I were to add, and you'll see these change right here. I mean, obviously the monster one you don't care about, but the troop attack and the enemy troop, well, you don't really even care about attacks. Remember, on sub generals, you only care about debuffs. So all we care about is this debuff and these two debuffs. You want to get as much of them as possible. So on sub generals, all we care about is those. So all you want to do is star level, and you don't want to refine. Same thing with the beast and stuff like that. You only want to put the beast on here that have debuffs. So if I were to switch this, see if I have a piece of Aki right here. I put in Fearless Aki right here. Go to click on it. I just lost my enemy troop attack. So it's best to do full Aki or full Parthian. If you don't have the full set, then do it. And I try to stick with the I do the dominant, and then I'll do the leg and the ring as majestic for half of them, and then the other half I will do the ring as the dominant ring, and then I'll also switch up the weapon. So because the axe gives that ground troop HP and that range troop HP debuff, and you got the bow that gives that enemy siege attack. And then you also have the spear that adds a enemy ground troop defense. And listening to some of Derek Defies and some of the other stuff, there's some other guys talking. They're talking about how ground troop defense acts as kind of a debuff for ground troop. So they're saying how that's kind of more important, more or less, than HP. You know, you want your attack up, obviously, but you want that defense up a lot. So That guy, he seems to know his stuff a lot, so I listen to him. I don't just take everything from me. I get information from other people too. So this is the first step. And so next step is we go to our wall general. And of course, you want to always have full Aki gear or full Koro gear. And there is a sheets. I can try to get it to y'all. Put it in the comments and send a link to it. And I got it from somebody else. But you're able to put in any type of Koro or any type of civilization gear and any type of dragon gear, Aki gear, Parthian, Imperial gear, and it'll show you buffs, debuffs, in city, all the stuff. It's very, very good, and you can mix and match, and it'll change the buffs as you go along. And the reason I say that is because if you have two pieces of Koro gear and you're breaking up your Aki or your Parthian set, you're not doing yourself any bonus. Until you get about 4 pieces of Koro gear, they're not any better than a full set of Aki. And I found that out the hard way. So doing the T1, you want to keep your leg armor and your helmet mounted troop or ground troop HP. And you want to keep it flats. And you want to build at least, nowadays, used to be 150 million, but you want to be at least 350 million T1s minimum. You got to be. And if you're a smaller keep, if you're under K40, you want to do 300 million, 350 million T1, and then you want to have your layers. And your layers want to be about 100 to 200,000 tops for each one. I'm going to have to change a lot. I've got million layers, and I'm real heavy. But I'm also K40, and my in-city buffs now are all getting up to 2,000 and higher. My siege is over 2,200, my siege attack especially. And my HP's over 2,000. So I started switching my my wall refines to at that point you want to switch your attacks to siege machine attack. But that is only once you hit K40 and up. You want to start making that switch. Even still, I'm borderline. I probably did mine a little too early. And I did the same thing with my attack, and I threw in a ground attack. But because it's percentage now, I'm relying on my top tiers to make the kills before my T1 wall is even touched. So my T1 wall is not doing a whole lot. So the T1 wall, to keep it still where you want to, I recommend, where I've said before in fighting these higher people, you want to build that 350 million, you want to build 350 million T1s to 500, 600, 700 million T1s, do to 100,000 layers of everything all the way up. And then when you get to your higher tiers, you want to build enough just to do your attacking marches. And you want to ghost them when you're getting attacked. Hide those top layers. The one thing I will say is is when you're taking siege attacks, I found that there is one small help that'll work for that. And I'll show you. Let me find it. Okay, so a big thing that's being used right now is the siege attack and siege bombs, and they're hitting you with T11 and stuff like that. And I talked to a guy, and a big thing they were talking about is a T13 wall. So the only issue with this is it's expensive to build. It increases your power a lot. So if you're doing all stars or anything, it's bad for getting matchups. But it does work, and it only works it works for scenarios, a broad range of them. So if you're getting attacked by, say like this was a solo attack by a guy who had decent siege buffs. He had 2,500, and he had a 6 million march. I mean, he's a 15 billion. I think he was like 43. Yeah, he's like 42, 43 keep level. And you need to either ghost or not heal your T14 siege, and you build about 10 to 15 million T13, and you see it right there. It does it. I dismissed all my T5 and T6 siege. I only have like 1 or 2 million of them, and I have my T11 siege that I use for my rallies, for my T11 bombs for attacking, and they're also used for the defense, and they do defending also. And what they do is that's what helps with that point trading. They survive a lot better as they have that range. I mean, and not to mention also the ground also helps a lot. The higher tier right here didn't do a whole lot, but because when they attack, range kills range. It's always like that until the range is gone, then it attacks others. Usually it doesn't though. I think most reports show that it doesn't. But that's the way. But if you get hit with if they rally you and they send a 3,000, if it's got 30 million, it's a rally and it's got 30 million troops or something, and they have uh 30 million troops and they got like 3,000. I mean, this was another decent one, but I had reinforcements too. They're sending a rally, and they got over like 3,500 buffs and 30 million troops. There's not much you can do. I mean, unless you have close to 3,000 in-city buffs also, then yes, the siege wall helps. But if you're like me and you have around 2,000 in-city buffs and they have over 3,000 attacking, don't try to take a huge siege attack. Just don't. It's not going to work out. There's nothing that you can do to protect yourself from that unless you have a lot of reinforcements. Range attack. I'm talking about range attack. Same thing. Ghost your high tier. Same technique that I've talked about in the past with the T1 wall. That's the point of it. That range is going to kill those T1 mounted, but that's fine. That's why you build a lot of them. That's why you have those flats. But these buffs, they're getting so high when you have that four, like you saw earlier, that almost 4,000 buffs. There's nothing I could have done. He wiped out my 300 million T1 wall in one hit and just killed everything else. There was nothing I could do. So in scenarios like that, there is nothing you can do. You're just outmatched. You're outpowered. But that's why this game it's ever changing, and you have to constantly be changing. And so that's why I'm working on switching my refines. I got more Koiro gear, switching my refines, and I'm going to start working on my top heavy, and I'm going to start dismissing my layers. I've got to go through, and I'm going to keep some of these top heavies. I need to dismiss a bunch of these siege right here. I got over 3 million. I'm going to have to dismiss a lot of these calves right here to 13. I use a lot of these for monsters because I rally a lot of monsters in our alliance. I'm definitely going to have to get rid of the T13 wall when Ultimate season starts back up for All Stars. All my layers are going to be chopped down. I'm not going to be these million layers. The T11 Siege is probably going to be one of the few things that I'm going to need to keep. But yeah, all these million layers probably be chopped down to less than half a million at least. My T2 horses, I'll probably keep my T1s the way they are, but my T2s, I'll probably knock them on down, probably 15 million. but I'm gonna have to shave off some of this power to get my matchings down. All right, and just talk about a few other things real quick. Just get these in-city buffs. Got that new beast, and I've talked about it. I finally got him. I got him up to level 15. I'm working on him. I got all my other ones are level 34 and higher. Most of them are level 39, 34, 34, 39. So I'm getting all these in-city buffs, and since I've gotten all of them as high as they are, that's why I started switching over to those to the top tier and to the percentage on my wall refines, my wall general gear. But this is where you're getting all these little buffs add up. I started getting more generals into my Senate. Started getting all these. Make sure that you keep up with this. I upgraded, so just to show you how much better these generals are. So my Elise, I put her in my Senate, and I get all these buffs right here that are now green. And I use Suchet, that is only 8 stars, only 3 red stars, but he is better than Elise that's fully awakened because he has the Covenant and he has just better stats all around. So y'all need to please look at these generals, read them, look at these stats. Some of these generals, my Marco with 1 red star is better than every free general out there. Martinus, Roland, all those. So if you're still using those and you got Marco with one extra copy of him, go ahead and ascend him and start working on him. He's damn good. And same thing. I mean, even Luhan that is in here. Where's he at? I got him finally ascended the other day. I didn't finish his. I don't have a specialty finished out, but I still added it up what it would be, and I put all his gear and put everything the same. That's on Suchet, and with the dragon and everything. Sent him off with the same assistant, and he still is about 50 to 60 points less than Suchet with only 8 stars. So that's crazy. And march size is 100,000 troops less with Luhan. So, you know, I awakened him. That's awesome. He would be a good second march, but for right now, the buffs that I'm getting from him in the Senate are well worth it. Over here, you know, getting that ground troop attack plus 10 and in rally ground troop attack 16 or 6 of 16 plus the rest of those buffs. You know, all these little buffs add on up. Same thing with Merlin, you know. I had him at 8 stars, and then once I got people calling me, sorry. Once I got who was it? Good God, now I lost my train of thought. Once I got Agrippa to 9 stars, put him on. I tested him, found out he's a lot better. So that's part of this game that you got to do. And if you need to, dismiss these generals, get your Blood of Ares back, and save it up and do it again if you're free to play or you're a low coiner. I'm able to where I can put some of those other generals in there. But if you can't, remember, you can always go to the tavern and you can get some of these generals that you can put in the tavern, like Minamoto, Martinus, Roland, Guan Yu, or not Guan Yu, but other ground generals. I mean, and you can even get them in Trial of Knights. You can get Pyrrhus and Lewis. You can get them that are in Trial of Knights right now. And you can get them up and put them in your Senate. That's another option if you don't want to use them for attacking, because you got Lewis, because he can't take the attacking book. Pyrrhus, his buffs just, they're not there. They're just not. And like I said, Luhan, he's very good though. Just for me, Suchet with 8 stars is so much better. But if you can't do that, I'd highly recommend doing Trial of Knights every time it comes around. Get him up, get him awakened, and he is a very, very, very good ground general for free to play. And you can get him there. You can get him every single time Trial of Knights goes around. There is a way to get the coins. There's a little trick to that. There's a video to it on YouTube. I can talk about it in the comments. Just let me know. But running this video to 20 minutes, so I'm going to end this now. If you have any comments, questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. I hope this clears some things up about T1 defense and wall generals and everything, and the changing of the game dynamics. Like, subscribe, share. Thanks, guys.